series
He had a bad back.
over the past few days about President John F. Kennedy as an 8-part miniseries that was going to run on Showtime, but and the History Channel, but because it had a negative or an even-handed portrayal of the Kennedys that showed their dark side, not just the myth of Camelot. The History Channel, who has like Caroline Kennedy on its board of directors, and Showtime, like all the major networks, turn it down. We don't want to air it, so it eventually aired on some obscure channel called Reels. But anyway, it's on Netflix. So I watched it, and it was absorbing. And I this 8-part miniseries on the Kennedys, and then at the end, like I get up to get on with my day, and then I suddenly like find myself like bending over, like staring at the ground and saying one word. I said, Kendra. Like suddenly that just came out of me for
Kendra?
Kendra. And like, why would that come out of me? It is because for 3 months I lived in Washington, D.C., where most of this miniseries was set, and I knew a girl there, and this was a very pivotal period of my life because this was when my father basically got thrown out of the Seventh-day Adventist Church ministry, and my life forever changed. So that was a big deal in my life. I was inspired to write about it.
Okay. All right.
And
back to this.
Back to this week's Torah portion. Torah portion, Korach, Numbers chapters 16, 17, and 18.
My bar mitzvah parsha.
Popularity is a form of power. So we can do what we do because we have the support of many people. So if everybody hated the rabbi and I for what we were doing, we would find it much harder to do what we're doing. So Moshe, this time in the Torah, has kind of less popularity than he did when he first brought the Jews out of Egypt. And so this emboldens Korach. So you'll notice that when a president has like a 90% approval rating...
Oh, their dick is huge. They have a huge dick then.
Chas v'shalom.
And they feel very powerful, and they do whatever they want. That's with Obama. He thinks like...
When a president has a high approval rating, people are much more reluctant to take him on. Like someone in the community is highly respected, people are very reluctant to take him on. But let's say a highly respected person in the community, suddenly there's some huge shanda about them that becomes known, then suddenly everyone's like, yeah, I can pilot, it's not so great.
They caught him in bed with some girls.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, it's not so great, and then you can take him on. So popularity is a form of power.
Yeah, I see it right now with Obama. I see what this guy's all about. It's like he got a little bit of a boost because he killed the other guy.
Yeah, Osama. Obama killed Osama.
Obama killed Osama, and then he killed your mama. And then then he feels okay. Well, I can now throw Israel and Britain under the bus. No problem.
Throw them down the well.
Throw them down the well. Throw the Jew down the well because I've got my votes. I'm okay, and
So people often think I do not care about the opinions of others. Oh, Levi just does what he wants. He doesn't care. But
basically.
But much of what I do is enabled by the popularity and influence of my blog. When it waxes high, I tend to wax high. Like when I'm getting tens of thousands of visitors to my blog that day, I feel bigger. I feel more confident. And
when you were talking about Huma, but then.
But
Genius over here is getting 40,000. Goes, I got 40,000 hits today, right? And I'm thinking, doofus, if you got 40,000 hits, why don't you post our show, a link to our show or a video of our show on that page so that people can see what we and you talked about, Wiener and all that, and then they can suck in it, and then they can fill up our chat room with 40,000 people. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because I'm not going to hijack different sections of my blog that become popular and try to force people oh no, you must go here. They come to my pages on Huma Abedin because they want information on Huma Abedin.
Right, and you can have the video of us talking about Wiener and Huma Abedin.
We didn't really have anything new.
Doesn't matter. They can just see us talking about it. They see Breitbart talking about it. They see Glenn Beck talking about it. They see Olbermann talking about it. He's on some new channel. You just mentioned Reels. I saw a commercial today for Olbermann. He's on some channel I've never freaking heard. Current.
It's owned by Al Gore.
By Al Gore?
Yeah.
He invented the internet. Why doesn't he put the channel on the internet?
I'm sure it is.
So, it's like, you have all these people. Let's get some fresh faces in this. Let's get Levi. The world is ready for Levi and Rabs. And I just think the 40,000 people that hit your page that day should have seen us talking about it. Get familiar with us. Join the fan club. Bring them in.
When I was younger in my internet experience, I used to do things like that more often, but now I'm just tired and just like,
And your attitude is, if they can't find us using Google, fuck them. Yeah, like they're really going to be looking for us. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, next.
so when my blog's popularity ebbs low, like when I'm getting a lot of flack, I tend to like retreat. It's like, oof. So I am influenced by the popularity of my work and of myself. Once Korach challenged Moshe's leadership, it was a short step to challenging the divine origin of the commandments.
Oh, yeah.
Once people challenge the leadership of the great rabbis, it is a short step to denying the divine origin of the commandments.
That's why I look with heavy disfavor whenever someone takes aversion to what you call Haredim, the Beis-Dins in Eretz Yisrael, the major Gadolim, the yeshivish crowd. Whenever someone takes potshots, I smell apicorsis, I smell a Russia, I smell somebody that hates Judaism. And if they hide and they say, oh no, I am very firm, I go to B'nai David, it doesn't change anything, because what you're doing is giving a bad report about where you go. And it tells me you feel comfortable with the kind of people that are like yourself, who badmouth the Gadolim, and you're basically telling me you are an enemy of God.
That's why there's no bashing of the Gadolim on my website.
But, however, you do
No
link.
bashing of the great rabbis on my website.
No, there's not on your website.
No criticism.
Ever.
No
Never.
heretical
notions.
No, nothing smutty, impure.
No,
No.
never ever would link to somebody who would do such a thing.
No,
Never.
Wouldn't quote them on my blog.
Never.
No, because that's just basically one short step from defying God.
Now, thank you, and that is exactly what we end up always locking horns about, which gets me so riled up, because I am the fighter. I fight against Korach. I fight against anyone who tries to lambaste our
The
Gadolim.
Gadolim.
That's right. I stand up for Torah. I stand up for the Gadolim.
And I'm right there with you. Once Korach...
Okay.
Korach's crowd knew that they were going to die in the desert anyway because of the sin of the spies. This happened earlier in the book of
okay.
Bamidbar. So they thought, oh, well, we've got nothing to lose. We might as well try to overthrow the leadership and do what we want, because otherwise we're just going to die in the desert.
So who's that like today?
I don't know. Who?
That's like the like the suicide bombers or whatever.
Oh, right.
It's like we don't fucking care.